Is Russia using gold as a weapon against the United States of America? Have you heard that mentioned? I heard it mentioned for the first time last night. We've been talking a lot about all these big major changes going on, the East versus the West. The fancy way for us to say that is bifurcation, the splitting of the world. You have the BRICS countries, right? Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, Saudi Arabia, Latin America, Africa, all these countries binding together to kind of come up with their own reserve currency. You know, all those news stories, and we're going to talk about those a little bit later. But is Russia, on simple terms, very simple, and I hadn't thought about this, maybe you had, right? We dig in all these weeds, but I heard somebody say, Russia is using gold as a weapon against the United States, because people generally accept the fact now that the United States has used the dollar as a weapon against Russia and other countries over the years with sanctions, confiscations, those types of things. But now, and this could be huge for precious metals, is Russia using gold, silver, the other precious metals? Is that their weapon that they're firing back with? And it would kind of make sense if you think about it. I mean, Russia mines like 300 tons of gold per year, and they're increasing that to 500 tons of gold per year. So they're a big producer of gold. They hold a lot of gold. They've been buying a lot of gold. Same with the Chinese, same with all these other BRICS and countries that are going together with the BRICS. Wouldn't it make sense now that they're going to use gold back as a weapon against the U.S. dollar? Now, I'm not saying that's good or bad. I live here in the United States of America, but I'm also an enthusiast for the value of precious metals. So if that is going on, I want to understand it, or at least be aware of it and be aware of the possible ramifications if that is indeed the case. Let's dig in a little bit and see what we find out. Well, we know that Russia is talking about implementing the Moscow World Standard, a new central clearinghouse, a new market for precious metals to compete directly with the LBMA in London, England, and the COMEX in the United States of America. They have stated publicly that they don't believe the true price for things like gold and silver are actually realized in these Western markets. So they want to set up their own market with their own spot price because they believe it should be much higher. And let's briefly touch on the fact that the BRICS countries have explicitly stated that they are working on a new reserve currency, one that they can use to conduct trade amongst themselves that will be completely free from the US dollar and likely backed by things like silver and gold. And what about our friend Zoltan Polsar from Credit Suisse? What did he say? He put forth the proposition and likelihood that the Russians could start trading gold directly for oil, right? And that could have major ramifications on both the oil market and even more so on the gold market, because the oil market is way bigger than the gold market. Hey, I appreciate you joining me right now here in the basement. I hope you feel at home, if even just for a few minutes. Know that you are always welcome here. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. That would help out. Give the video a thumbs up. And you, yes, you, there is only one you. You have your own thoughts and they matter. Leave a comment in the comment section below. We also know that Iran and Russia are working on a stablecoin. Now, don't run away just because I'm talking about crypto. It's important to understand what a stablecoin is. It's a cryptocurrency that absolutely represents an actual physical item. In this case, it would be like a gram of gold. And what's even more important is that as they're developing these gold-backed stablecoins, they will be highly regulated by the Russian and Iranian governments. That's way different than what went on in the West with stablecoins, where there was no regulation. These will be watched over and audited by the governments of Russia and Iran. And doesn't it feel like every time we turn around, we're hearing a different Russian finance minister talking about the attributes of gold, silver, real backed currency to be used in trade amongst these Eastern Bloc type countries? It's moving in that direction. We hear Vladimir Putin, who says, why would any country want to hold their reserves in US dollars? Number one, they're going down in value, and he does have a good point there. And number two, they can be confiscated at any time. He's also said that it's the end of the make-believe fairy dust money world, money printing world, and that the people in the West, and that would be me and you, unfortunately, are going to learn that you can't eat printed dollars. You can't run power plants off printed dollars. You need real assets. Hey, look, I'm an American. I live here. I'm not necessarily happy about any of this, and I'm not a proponent of it necessarily either. But as a precious metals enthusiast, and I would imagine you're the same way, we want to be aware of what is going on. And wouldn't it make sense that the world would go back to a real backed currency, gold and silver? I mean, isn't it funny how now we're moving back in that direction to what's worked for thousands and thousands of years? I mean, it seems like this is unique and different right now, but the reality is the world's gone through these phases and cycles before when other things were counted as value, but we always go back to the true, real money, silver and gold. We'll see how it plays out. I'll be here for you through it all. I always appreciate you joining me in the basement. I hope you, yes you, decide to come back. Hey everybody, it's Ron from Ron's Basement, live on the log flume with Lily. Lily, say hi.
Hi.